Behold the voice that forged the soul of heavy metal. From the mystical realms of rock and roll rises Ronnie James Dio, a man whose thunderous vocals, poetic lyrics, and commanding presence reshaped the sound of metal forever. Whether summoning dragons and rainbows or leading stadiums of fans to raise their horns in unison, Dio brought magic to music, the kind that burns bright across generations. Hello, and welcome to the Church of Rock and Roll, where we celebrate the rock legends and artists who have left us. Born Ronald James Padavona in 1942, he carved his legend through Rainbow, Black Sabbath, and his own band Dio, leaving behind anthems like Heaven and Hell, Holy Diver, and Rainbow in the Dark. His voice was power and melody combined, a force of nature wrapped in leather and myth. Dio was born in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, to Italian-American parents. He listened to a great deal of opera while growing up and was influenced vocally by American tenor Mario Lanza. His first formal musical training began at age 5, learning to play the trumpet. It was during high school that Dio formed his first rock and roll group, the Vegas Kings, which would later be named Ronnie and the Rumblers, and then Ronnie and the Red Caps. Late 1960s, he was also in Ronnie Dio and the Prophets and Elf. Though Dio began his rock and roll career on trumpet, he added singing to his skill set and also assumed bass guitar duties for the groups. Despite being known for his powerful singing voice, Dio claimed to have never received any vocal training. He instead attributed his singing ability to the use of breathing techniques he learned while playing trumpet. In the mid-1970s, Dio's vocals caught the ear of Deep Purple guitarist Ritchie Blackmore, who was planning on leaving Deep Purple due to creative differences over the band's new direction. They then became Rainbow. They released the self-titled debut album, Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow, in early 1975. After that, Dio recorded 2 more studio albums, Rising in 1976 and Long Live Rock and Roll in 1978, the live album on stage, and 2 archival live albums with Blackmore. Following his departure from Rainbow in 1979, Dio joined Black Sabbath, replacing the fired Ozzy Osbourne. Dio met Sabbath guitarist Tony Iommi by chance at the Rainbow on Sunset Strip in Los Angeles in 1979. The 2 musicians were in similar situations, as Dio was seeking a new project and Iommi needed a vocalist. Dio said of the encounter, "It must have been fate, because we connected instantly." The duo wrote the song Children of the Sea, which appeared on the Heaven and Hell album, the first the band recorded with Dio as its vocalist, being released in 1980. The follow-up album, Mob Rules in 1981, featured new drummer Vinny Appice. Dio quit the band after the live Evil album, and in 1991, Dio returned to Black Sabbath to record the Dehumanizer album. Close to the end of 1992, Dio and Appice again left the band, citing an inability to work with Iommi and Butler. Wanting to continue together as a band, Dio and Appice formed the eponymous heavy metal band Dio in 1982. To complete the perfect Dio lineup, Vivian Campbell played guitar and Jimmy Bain played bass, the latter of whom Dio had known since his time in Rainbow. Their 1983 album, Holy Diver, included the hit singles Rainbow in the Dark and Holy Diver, which have remained the band's signature songs. The band added keyboardist Claude Schnell and recorded 2 more full-length studio albums with this lineup, The Last in Line in 1984 and Sacred Heart in 1985. A 1984 live recording, a special from the Spectrum, was filmed during the band's Second World Tour and released in VHS format only. The band changed members over the years, eventually leaving Dio as the only original member in 1990. We don't have time to go through every musician that worked with Dio, but personally the original lineup was my favorite. Let us know what you think in the comments. Except for a few breaks, the band was constantly touring and recording. They released 10 albums, with Master of the Moon being that last one, recorded in 2004.
That's great. Anyway, that's a reminder of Holland for you. Yeah, take it home with you.
Thank you so much.
But I'd like you to finish up what you were saying. Yeah, what does the church, for instance, in the States think about you?
Well, they think that that I'm the devil, or that I'm about to be the devil's man, or that that this particular sign means putting a curse on you. They just think I'm a very, very bad, evil person. Our first album cover was not exactly the Madonna with child. I'm sorry, didn't mean to do that to you. Wasn't the Madonna with child. It was a priest who appeared to be being drowned by a devil, and so everyone said immediately, "Oh my Lord, this is the devil. This man, he's preaching that the devil should be killing good." Well, it's not true, because again, I've tried to make a point. The point is that you don't know what is inside the dressing. You know, I mean, you must take a look. You forget what's outside of it. Think of what's inside of it. A priest drowning could be the most evil thing in the world, and perhaps this poor animal up there is just an animal happened to wander around the scene, and he didn't really do anything to him, or he may be the good. That really was the whole point, but it was jumped upon by the, I won't say do-gooders, because that's good. I'm glad someone's trying to do good. That's terrific. But they should find out what's inside of my package, you know, before they decide to throw stones at it.
And what does that sign mean with two fingers?
Oh, I just cursed you, and you're going to die in hell. I would always see my grandmother when I was a little kid, you know, with her holding my hand and walking down the street. She would see someone and go, "What's that?" And eventually learned that it was called the Maloik. And the Maloik was, someone was giving us the evil eye, so she's giving it protection against the evil eye. Or you can give someone the evil eye too. I'm lucky enough to have kind of just have done it so much, it's been more equated with me than anyone else. Although Gene Simmons will tell you that he invented it, but then again, Gene invented breathing and shoes and everything. You know.
You have a special rock and roll dream. What do you aim at?
Well, I've always aimed at one thing, I think, and that is, this is from the standpoint of being a singer or being a musician. I've always felt that if there was one person in the audience who said to themselves, he's not as good as we thought he was, or he's not as good as they said he was, then I would be destroyed by that. So my dream is to always be as better than anyone else when I'm out there, and at least to work as hard as I possibly can for that person, so they can at least say he tried harder than anyone else did.
What would you like to say to people who claim that heavy rock spoils the young people? They burn records and everything.
Well, it's very difficult for me to say one thing in the course of 30 seconds or 45 seconds that's going to change anyone's opinion, because it's not going to change anyone's mind. We're unfortunately talking to people who will not be converted to the way that we think. So what I would say to them is that what you should do is look inside of the package before you decide that the wrapping isn't nice enough. Just because someone is ugly physically doesn't mean that they're not beautiful inside, or because they're beautiful outside doesn't mean they're not ugly inside. You should take the time to look inside of that package and find out what it's all about. Then you can make a product.
In 1985, Dio contributed to the metal world's answer to Band Aid and USA for Africa with the Here in Aid project. With a heavy metal all-star ensemble, the brainchild of his fellow bandmates Campbell and Bain, he sang some of the vocals on the single Stars and an album full of songs from other artists given to charity. The project raised $1 million within a year. In September 2003, Dio accidentally severed his thumb during a gardening accident when a heavy garden gnome fell onto it. Dio was concerned he would no longer be able to do his signature devil horns hand gesture, but the doctor managed to reattach it. In October 2006, Dio joined Black Sabbath members Iommi and Geezer Butler and former drummer Vinny Appice to tour under the moniker Heaven and Hell, the title of the first Dio-era Black Sabbath album. Dio was named Best Metal Singer at the Revolver Golden Gods Awards in April 2010 for his work on The Devil You Know, making him the oldest recipient of this award at age 67. He accepted the award in person as it was his final public appearance.
I was proud to be heavy. That's the thing I always wanted to do. I was so proud to play heavy music. No matter what came before us, no matter how successful it was, I knew there was always 2 or 3 people in that audience going, yeah, that's what it's all about. So, that's what I love the most about it, is the music and what it has allowed me to do, which is to be as aggressive as possible and play really heavy music, but still with hopefully some great musical ethics.
Are you an aggressive person?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm quite, laid back when there's nothing going on that bothers me.
But yes, I'm an aggressive person. I don't think you become successful unless you're aggressive. But then again, there are different kinds of aggression. There's violent aggression and there's sensible aggression. I think I'm a more sensible, aggressive person. I look around me and see what's happening in the world, and I know that those are going to affect my decisions. I listen to the music, I observe the people around me within the music I make, and I decide how I have to use my own aggression. But yes, I'm aggressive because I want to succeed, and I'm aggressive because I'm opinionated. And what you have to do is, it's easy to be opinionated and aggressive, but you have to prove that you're worthy to be opinionated and aggressive. And I think that's what I've always tried to do. Hopefully I've achieved it, 85% of that way. But yeah, I'm aggressive.
And I think we talked a little bit about this before on the issue of aggression. Something we're trying to work out, or at least talk about in this documentary is that whole aggression and violence association with metal. And I think that I don't know if we'll be able to say metal people are this way in one way or not, but it strikes me that maybe metal people aren't all that aggressive, and that this becomes the only vehicle. Because actually, I don't consider myself to be a very aggressive person at all, and I think that I often think maybe the reason why that is because I've always had this place. So whatever I have of aggression within me, whatever is there is expressed in this music.
Absolutely.
Whether I play it or listen to it.
Of course, that's the whole secret. That is exactly the secret to it all. It is a release of aggression. This kind of music, if you go to a concert and you see people, as you will, obviously, in this film, you'll see people out there reacting, very, from head banging to just very, very aggressive attitude. But that's the whole point of it. They go to that show, and by the time the show's over, the aggression has been expressed, and they just go on their way. Let's go have a couple beers. I don't find metal people aggressive after the fact. I find them no more aggressive than the people who destroy a town after an NBA championship game or after a hockey championship game. It seems to be very fashionable that if you win the championship, then you better destroy the town. I don't quite understand that one, and I've never really seen that happen to metal crowds because their aggression has been expressed, and they're, all right, I feel so much better now. And I think it's a perfect release for aggression. I think all psychiatrists and psychoanalysts should prescribe go to metal shows, go scream and yell your head off, and then you'll probably be pretty happy after that. You are a great example. You don't appear to be an aggressive person. I'm sure I don't appear to be an aggressive person sitting here either, because we release our aggression through the music. And I think that's always been my feeling about this.
Well, I don't believe in either heaven and hell as a place to go to. That when we die, we're going to go down and burn for a while, and if we're good, we're going to go up there and be happy for a while, or purgatory where all the poor little baptized babies are hanging out. I think anybody who's got anybody who came up with that idea that there's going to be a place where little children are going to be hanging out for the rest of their lives, is either the sickest person on earth or the most stupid person on earth. I think both of those things apply. So I don't believe in any of those things. My belief in heaven and hell is right here. This is where we are. This is heaven, this is hell. You make your own heaven, you make your own hell. Hell, good and evil, God, the devil, reside in each one of us. I don't have to go to a place to pray. I can pray inside myself. I can pray to whomever I want to inside myself and get the same results. I don't need to be told by a priest that I'm bad, or to be told by a nun that I'm not learning my project properly and get smacked on the hand with a ruler. Who the hell are you to do that to me? Or to be told that here's God, and God is a guy who's been nailed up on a piece of wood. It's not the way I want to think of life. I don't think of it that way. And with all the religions that they are preaching all the same things, it's real one great big homogenized thing anyway. At the end of the day, if we all just believe in the same thing, that we got a choice between good and evil. Hey, make your choice. That's all it's about to me. So writing those songs perhaps brought out a little bit of my cynical side, but what it brought out of me is what I believe in life. And that is that, we are the last in line. And, there is heaven and hell if you consider that it's what people do to you that make it heaven and hell, that goes right to the song. The world is full of kings and queens who blind your eyes and steal your dreams. That's heaven and hell. That's what heaven and hell is. The heaven when the people tell you how good they're going to treat you, and the hell when you find out it was all a lie, wasn't it? That's what heaven and hell is to me.
Rolling Stone magazine eulogized Dio with these words. It wasn't just his mighty pipes that made him Ronnie James Dio. It was his moral fervor. What always stood out was Dio's raging compassion for the lost rock and roll children in his audience. Dio never pretended to be one of the kids. He sang as an adult, assuring us that we weren't alone in our suffering, and that someday we might even be proud of conquering it. On November 25, 2009, Dio announced that he was diagnosed with stomach cancer and underwent treatment at the MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston, Texas. Dio died of the illness on May 16, 2010.
That toughness is coming in handy now.
Best people, I mean, the staff are just so wonderful. They just are the best people, as you can see. Following this one, there's one definite more chemo procedure.
He's relaxed.
I just want to get better. I just want to be cured, you know.
Dio has stomach cancer.
You know, I've been poked and prodded in holes I didn't know I had before, and they probably made a few new ones that I don't even know where they are. I'm lucky that I am a very, hard person and strong within my beliefs, so that this hasn't really been a problem for me. You know, I just look at cancer, I'll kick the hell out of you. This hospital is the best in the world. Wendy did a lot of research in hospitals.
Ronnie's a very feisty person, and he's taken it very much in his stride. You know, obviously we were a little despondent in the beginning, but now he's just ready to kick it. That's all he wants to do is kick it and get on with his life.
Sometimes band members, like bass player Geezer Butler, comes for support.
Geezer said, I want to go through what Ronnie's going through. I want to be here for that.
But Wendy Dio is always with him. The treatment seems to be working. She says the tumor in his stomach is getting smaller. All of this in a man with a very big voice.
I refuse to be beaten in any way, shape, or form, so I'm going to beat this too.
When Ronnie James Dio left this world in 2010, it felt as though heavy metal itself went silent for a moment. The voice that once soared above thunderous riffs, fierce, pure, and full of heart, was gone, but the echoes of his music still shake the heavens. Dio was more than a singer. He was a storyteller, a dreamer, a warrior for the soul of rock. He gave millions of fans a place to belong, a place where imagination and courage ruled. His words taught us that even in darkness, there's light. Even in sorrow, there's strength. Fans around the world still raise their horns not just in tribute to the music, but to the man. Humble, kind, and fiercely devoted to what he loved. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Ronnie James Dio may have left the stage, but his spirit still sings in every guitar riff, in every lyric that dares to dream beyond the ordinary. Long live the voice of metal. Long live Dio.